we don't know what we don't know. If you don't know it's there, then you can't act on it. And so that's a big thing that kind of runs through the entire layer system when you're talking about security. Because if you don't have the visibility, then you can't act on it. But for us, that layered approach, also he mentioned that a lot of it does bleed over into each other. And I think that's good. I mean, we need to have that on purpose because not every system catches everything 100% of the time. So having some of those bleed over, for us, I know our layer is, we do MDR. Well, we also do SOC SIEM. Those kind of bleed into each other. And sometimes one will pick up something that the other one does not. I've never been, I'm knocking on some wood. I've never been ransomed. I've never been breached. I've never had a data loss that I'm aware of. Now that being said, I don't care who you are, it's coming. And I know
Yes.
if it has not already happened to me and I just don't know about it, then it will eventually. And so mitigating the amount of loss or exposure that you have is important. And that's part of this layering. But it starts with people. So the biggest layer for us is training our people. Cybersecurity is not a technology problem. It's not a Ross Randall problem. It's an institutional problem. Everybody has to be aware and understand what the threats are and how to recognize them and what needs to happen when you do encounter one. So training is a huge thing. That's a huge layer of it. Systems that are put in place to help us with, it's not like I can go around and put my hands on every single endpoint in the district. There's no way. And so you have to have systems in place. That's a huge layer of that can track changes. The MDRs are great. Used to, it was if you had an antivirus on your computer, you were great. That's no longer effective. Antiviruses are gone. They're a dinosaur. So something that really tracks the changes on a system and recognizes the threats and remediates those threats for you. Because and we've had some things that have been remediated. I say I've never been attacked, but obviously I'll get some malware that gets passed through every once in a while. We get some things that get picked up. Part of that, if it's coming through email, you guys have your product that detects malware does a great job. It helps me be able to see some of those things. So sometimes I might have one. Well, it may not track back exactly where it came from, and I can use your product to go in and drill down a little bit deeper to see what, exactly what attachment that was and how it interacted. Love that. So, that's just another piece of it. And then, like Tim said, if there's a school district that has not segmented their network, please do that today. That is absolutely necessary. You've got to, we've got all these different categories of people throughout our district that do different things. I've got a department of people that need to be able to get to our financial software package, which is hosted on site. I don't need anybody else to even be able to see that thing, to attach to it, to do anything to it. So segmenting that off and restricting that only to the users that need it, that's a huge thing. Students, they don't need to be able to get to the same things that the teachers get to. So segmenting that off through VLANs and lists are really key. Also, visitors on our campus, if they log in, to our, and we do allow guest Wi-Fi, but the only thing it has access to is the internet. It can't see any other, it can't even see IP addresses on its same VLAN. It wall gardens that off. So, those are easy things and not expensive things that a district can do right off the bat that creates that physical layer of protection for, within your school district. I said this before, school districts historically have not had to deal with a lot of this. It's just not something used to. You think, no, they're not going to mess with us. We're schools, they're kids. Now these bad actors, they would punch your grandmama in the face for $1. You know, they're just evil people, and they don't care. They're absolutely 100% in it for the money. They're going to do everything they can. And if you ever look at your attack surface from your firewall, there's a lot of products that'll do that. We get hammered thousands of times every day. People trying to get through our firewall. It's just constant. So you know, having something in place too, like a SIEM solution that will help you look at your firewall logs, so that you can go in and block any IP addresses that you don't want. A lot of folks, you know, there's different blocks of IPs that you obviously, there's different countries that you don't want connecting to you at all, and you just completely block those off. But getting that under control is a huge thing. It goes back to that physical layer. And then for us, you know, we are 100% Google Workspace. And so we've got to have something that looks at the files in those platforms that help us understand what's there. If we don't know what's there, we can't do anything about it. So putting rules in place that pick up if there's a social that is shared, or if there's any student information that's shared. You know, I live in managed methods, I live on that risk tab. That's my favorite go-to. I love the risk tab. I don't have another product. There's probably some out there, but I don't have another product in my tool belt that does as good a job or does a job at all of scanning images.